So today we are going to cover Standard for Success, the TLO and CLO pre-work. So this is our pre-work only, so keep that in mind. This is the work you're going to do before you actually show the results of what you have taught and what the students have learned. So the first thing you want to do is go to standardforsuccess.com and go to login here. And the login is a little bit different than what you're used to. It's your actual email. It's at msdlt.k12.in.us, not the msdlt.staff.org or whatever. It's this one. And then your password should be the same as your other passwords, whatever your universal network login is. So when you log in, you see this. If you've been here before previous years, you can access your previous years here. Your most current year will pop up. You'll have your assessments over here, professional development tasks, artifacts, student learning objectives, and then down here is your rubric. You want to go to student learning objectives overview. We're going to start with a class learning objective. Class learning objective is what you want an entire class to achieve. This means that you should pick a class that you feel is going to show growth and that's going to hit that target of 75% or higher on whatever assessment you choose. So once you've done that, I'm going to pick my G3 because I really like my G3. You fill this out and put your approved assessment here. It can be a progress monitor, it can be a pre-test, post-test, it can be another assignment that you have given the students, but you need to make sure that it is something that is what is considered a traditional assessment. And also make sure that your administrator is okay with you using this, or your department chair, or your PLC leader, or whoever. Most likely, whatever you do choose is going to be approved. I usually stick with something that's multiple choice, just for ease of grading, and that's usually what we have used in the past. So I'm going to use my fiction progress monitor. You can use SRI scores, you can use vocabulary tests, whatever you deem appropriate here, as long as it's standards based. Approved mastery score is going to be 75% or higher. Now you have to do some numbers. So you have to determine how many kids in your class you're actually going to put on here. So I have 27 kids in my G3. So before I taught them this skill or these skills, I have to determine how prepared were they? Like, what did they already know? So if they have a high level preparedness, they already are at that 75% or higher. Low level, mid level of preparedness, I believe, I can't remember what the percentage was for that, honestly. I think it was like 65 to 75, and then low was like anything below 65, something like that. I'm not exactly sure, don't quote me on that, but you know, I just went through and saw where my kids were. So like, let's say I have 4 that are doing really well, did really well on the pretest or on this skill before, and maybe like 9 that are medium, and then I've got another 14 that are low, like really low. So that gives me my grand total of 27. Down here you want to upload some files to support this. So like, if you're gonna, there are 2 basic things you want to make sure that you have in this. I'm going to show you what I did last year. So the first thing is my class list, my pretest data. So like, I've got this spreadsheet that I made, and I'll send you this template if you want it. And I put all my kids' names here. And then right here in this column, I put how many they got right. And then I also put like what the percentage was before they retook it. This looks weird because on my pretest, I only picked 6 questions. So that's the other file you need to upload, is the assessment. So last year I did the narrative unit pretest, and what I did was I went through and I picked 6 questions off of that pretest that were specific skills that I was going to really work hard on for that 9 weeks or for that unit. So like, I think I did setting, I did point of view, I did dialogue punctuation, I did flashback, I did diction, and then I picked sensory details. So those were the 6 skills that I was going to target. So I went through and I took my narrative unit assessment and I highlighted like the specific questions I was going after. And then I went on this spreadsheet and I wrote down, and I took my Scantrons and I looked after they took the pretest, and I looked and said, okay, how many did each of these kids get right out of those, just those 6? So I went through and I just put them in here. And then I saved this document and that document I just showed you in a compressed folder. So like how you do a compressed folder is if you right click and you can do like new folder, compressed folder. It doesn't really show up on this because I'm on a Mac right now, but on PCs it'll let you do a compressed folder. And then you just drag and drop them in there. Like there's my compressed folder right there. So once you put both of those things into a folder, you just upload them and then you're done with that part. The next part is you got to play this lovely numbers game. So you are predicting. So it says all students in high and medium and most students in low achieve content mastery. This is what you're wanting them to do. Content mastery is 75% or higher. And for you to be considered highly effective, to get a 4, you have to have this number mean 90%. So you want 90% of them to be high in the high level preparedness, which is content mastery, which is 75% or higher. So I just click this number thing over here until it gets to 90% or close to it. You don't want to go under 90%. You want to go 90% or higher. So for me, out of my 27 kids, I need 25 of them to hit that right there. All right. So here, you want this number to be 80. Or close to 80. Again, for me, it's going to be a little over just because I have an odd number of students. And so I need to get 22 of those kids to be high level preparedness. And then down here, to be improvement necessary, you need to hit 70%. So again, you just click until you get to 70. Luckily for me, it's right on target. And then anything below that is ineffective. So once you've done that, you don't really need to put anything in these other boxes. You just need to make sure these numbers are 90, 80, 70. Because honestly, what we really are looking for are those kids that achieve content mastery. That's what it says. Content mastery. Content mastery. Content mastery is high level preparedness. High level preparedness is at 75% or higher. So honestly, I don't think you need to put anything in there. At least I didn't in years past, and no one said anything to me. So, all right. Once you've done all that, you've put your numbers here. You've uploaded some documents. You click request admin approval, then update CLO. Do not click request admin approval until you are 100% sure that you're ready for your administrator, meaning your principal, your primary evaluator, whoever that is ready to look at this. And what they're going to do is it'll probably take them a day or two, but they'll look through this. Okay, looks good, looks right, everything's good. They'll approve it. After they've approved it, then this part down here will come up and you can work on this part, which I'm going to cover next week because honestly, I don't want to inundate you with all of this right now. If you're like me, like I don't have these artifacts right now. I don't have them ready to upload. So I'm going to save this though, because I'm going to keep all these numbers. These are my numbers that I'm shooting for, but I'm going to come back later. If you just hit update CLO, it will save for you. And see what I mean? It says started. Tells you what date it started. Once you've submitted it for approval, this started December 2nd will say submitted for approval on blah, blah, blah. And once the admin has approved it, it'll say approved on blah, blah, blah. And then it'll give you an option to, go and do your post work. All right, now we're going to talk about the targeted. The targeted learning objective is you pick students in your lower quartile, so the bottom 25% of the performers in your class, that you believe you're going to be able to really You're going to work with them. You're going to put extra energy into them. You're going to intervene and use a lot of different strategies with just these students to see how far you can really push them up and if you can get them to that mastery level. So again, you want to make sure that you've got your grade level, your subject, your period. I usually pick the same class just because that's less work for me. Student level of preparedness right here. Whenever it asks you, like, you want to tell them how prepared are your kids. I said low, bottom 25%. So that tells them that these are some low kids, but you want to pick some low kids that you will see growth in. Or maybe, kids that you have seen growth in. So number of students in target population, usually it's between 5 and 7. In the past, I think I've gone 7. Targeted content standards, this is where you bust out that old standard document and you copy and paste those standards in here, the 9 RL 2.1 or whatever it is. And I always put the actual language there instead of the numbers. Like, I put both because when your administrator goes in here, they're not going to want to have to like look up, oh, what's 9 RL 2.1? Like, just put it all in there. Name of assessment approved by the evaluator. This fiction post-test or fiction progress monitor. I use the same measurement as I did in my CLO. Again, because that is, easier for me. It's less work. So state the growth and or achievement goal. All students will receive a 75% or higher on assessment. So that's just your objective. What are you trying to do? Down here, you're going to upload a few more things. I'm going to show you what those look like. I don't know why I keep navigating away from this when I know I need to use it. Anyway, your TLO is going to be a little different in like a couple ways. So this is my TLO. First of all, you're going to upload that pre-post assessment or whatever assessment you're using again. So I just took the same one because, like I said, less work for me, and I just uploaded it again. Then you're going to take that spreadsheet that you made for your CLO or whatever class you're going to use, and you are going to zoom in a little bit, Paige, because I don't think they can see that. You're going to highlight the kids in your class that you're really trying to get to do well. So for me, I highlighted 7 kids. I picked Nora, I picked Brianna, Raymond, Nancy, Christopher, Shanita, and Journey. Okay, those were the kids I picked. And so on the spreadsheet, it's the same exact one I submitted for my CLO, the only difference is I highlighted these kids. How you highlight is you just click over here and you go up to this little can of paint or whatever and you pick a color. You can highlight any color you want. Okay. And I'm going to actually undo that. So I just highlighted them. That's all I did. And I saved it as a separate Excel document and titled it Pretest Data TLO or whatever. The second thing, or the third thing that you want to upload, is this, and I'll send this as well. This is a little template that Trenda sent me my first year here, where you list your students' names and then you put their actual percentage score that they have before you gave the test, and then you gave like the target. So because I'm saying that these kids are going to get 5 out of 6 correct, it's going to be 83% or something, but I just rounded it to 80. And then for your pre-work, you're going to leave this blank, so because those are going to be your results. So you're going to upload 3 things. You're going to upload this thing. You're going to upload that spreadsheet with the kids highlighted. You're going to upload your actual test. Once you've done that, once again, you go to click this little check mark when you're ready to do it and update TLO. So, and that's really all that you have to do for your pre-work. Once your pre-work has been approved by your administrator, you should get an email or whatever, and you can just log on and check. Excuse me, I am yawning like crazy because it's my bedtime. But anyway, once you've all done all that, you should be good to go. And we'll do post work next week, and I'll make another video. Let me know if you have questions. We're going to work together and try to get this done. Have a wonderful night or day.